Thank you for being here. Before we get started, I just need to do a few housekeeping thingy-me-jigs. Toilets, exits right behind you, and we've got a QR code, so if anybody would like to see what the schedule of the day is, please feel free to scan the QR code. And also, if there's anybody who is not clear or uncertain about wanting to be filmed, please raise your hand so that the photographers and the videographer can know not to film you. Wow, this is great. I haven't slept a wink, but it's amazing to be in the room with all my colleagues, my peers, friends, my community. It's amazing. So thank you all for being here.
Well done, Sam.
Yeah. And Giovanni, my dear friend. Thank you. As you know, we have some fabulous keynote speakers as well as workshop facilitators with us. And I'd like you to also give a round of applause for our keynote speakers and the workshop facilitators. And in true TA style, what do we do when we say hello? Please speak to your neighbour just for a couple of minutes and share why are you here today? Just a few minutes.
That's an easy one.
There's a lot of us in the room. And in true therapy style, we'd like to stick to the time as much as we possibly can. But thank you. So, I have a few words to say. I am reminded we are living through collective uncertainty. In particular, what's going on politically, in the news, in society, what's going on in America, but in particular what's going on in Gaza. And it's very, very disturbing for us as a community. And I'm going to speak for us because I'm aware I have pockets of conversations with my peers, with individuals who are wanting to create change, wanting to start a dialogue when it comes to difficult conversations. We also live in a time that rewards speed, faster answers, faster growth, and faster healing. As well as many individuals are encouraged to be self-contained, as well as self-made and self-sufficient. But let's remind ourselves, we are relational beings. We cannot do life on our own. Within our TA community, there's this emphasis around upgrading, reinventing, moving on. In particular, I'm thinking about my own journey. For those that don't know me, I'm Sam Carbon. I'm a woman of colour. I have many intersectional identities. Today, I show up with one in particular, PTSTA. And I have been surprised by some of the challenges within our community, when we go from CTA, TEW, PTSTA, TSTA. Underneath all that motion or emotion, there will be parts of us that just want to stop and just be. And so that's my invitation to you all today, to pause and to be. We are a wonderful community, but it's very rare that we're able to come together. And I noticed it when I went to Montpellier last year, just how, I'm not going to use the word special, but there's something special about TA. Something very unique. I am reminded that what is not spoken does not disappear. It settles in our bodies, in our minds, and in our communities. Creating LonTAC with my dear friend Giovanni has been a wonderful assignment. When I think about the TA community, it is shaped in conversation with each other, with our histories, and my encouragement, no matter where you are today on your journey, is to take up space. No matter where you are. So, what does rerouting mean for me? It begins here. Rerouting is not a return to the past. It is not about clinging to what was. Rerouting is an act of being present. And it's about being able to listen beneath the surface. You will all have your own interpretations of what it means to reroute. For me also, it's a willingness for us as a community to ask ourselves, what can we do different? We may ask ourselves many questions today. Why are we here? Who holds us? Who shapes us? Who feeds us? And I'm aware that I'm in a room with educators, supervisors, trainees, peers, therapists, counsellors. Healing is not a solo performance. As we are constantly evolving, even after our years of training, our years of experience, it's important that we are in relationship with each other. This conference has been nurtured so that we as a community in this location, in this region, can be seen and be held. And we gather not to impress, but to bear witness to each other. It's that tension between what we've inherited and what we are willing to create. New growth does not come from erasing the past, it comes from transforming it. The seed does not reject the soil, it draws from it and then it goes beyond. So the future of TA does not emerge from effort alone, it grows from our collective awareness. LonTAC is an act of courage, and I thank you all for being here.
Thanks, Sam. A wonderful assignment indeed. Hello, everyone. Before I introduce the day, which is my task now, I want to thank all of you for coming, for actually entrusting Sam and I with this new thing, with this project. You know, we are not famous people, really, but you decided to come. That means a lot for us. I am a person of small cogs and quiet labor, and today will simply not exist without this. So the very first thank you I want to give is to our volunteers. Some of them are here, some of them are outside. Can you please give them a round of applause? That's for you to know. You can see them because they have a rose on their chest. Yeah, so if you need to know anything, they know absolutely everything. Yeah. If you want therapy as well, they're all very good therapists. And after that, I want to thank our supervisor, Gun, who is in this room and is probably hating me for calling her out. So, hello, Gun.
Oh.
We wouldn't be here without her. Literally, you know, the steadiness, the challenge, the support. You know, whenever you need a word of wisdom, she's there for you. As I look across the room, I see familiar and unfamiliar faces. I think I know most of you, but of course there is a big chunk of you I don't. I see my family, I see friends, colleagues, therapists, supervisors, trainees, educators, facilitators. I see a lot of people that form this community, a community that has chosen to stay together, to meet, to share, to feel together on a topic that is quite, I suppose, challenging and exciting. And I actually see a community that is doing the very, very British thing of trying to understand my accent without making mistake. You really deserve a medal for that. So, thank you. This is the spirit that led us to create this event, because we both believe absolutely deeply that we are not isolated identities. That therapy is not a private hobby that happens in sealed rooms, neither healing or facilitation or education. We believe in relational practice in a social world, especially in a time like this that is not exactly calm. We are living through times that I would call absurd. That it's not a light word I'm trying to use here. We are watching renewed conflicts and invasions, polarization and unrest, the tightening of ideologies, and the steady erosion of basic rights. When I was saying that to my therapist actually a couple of weeks ago, I never actually believed in my 20s that I would be years later debating abortion rights, honestly, or debating racial dynamics again, or to actually decide whose life is livable and whose life isn't. We keep being there. And we're watching power, and people in power behaving like toddlers with nuclear weapons. Mm-hmm. Somehow, the old ghosts never want to die off. In moments like these, I think we both think that what it matters is to come back to our ethics and our stances. This is why we ask today, what keeps us grounded with everybody else? What keeps us human? And what keeps us from making our work to descend into technique, branding, and comfort? What keeps transactional analysis alive? TA was born in a very particular historical moment that was marked by upheaval and social change. And here we are again, some years later, effectively redoing what was done so many years ago. But this is not a reason for despair. This is a reason to re-engage with it. It's a reason to ask something more of our theory and something more of ourselves as embodiment of that theory. And this is why we choose the theme of today, rerouting. Rerouting, in my opinion, suggests two things at once. First, continuity. We do not throw away the roots. We keep nourishment, moisture, and memory. And the second part is movement. We allow the roots to travel. We allow them to reach into new soil, into new language, and into new avenues. And we accept that in order to reroute our theory, we need to loosen its texture a bit, without destroying it, of course. Rerouting is not an attack on TA. Rerouting is a commitment to TA. It's a refusal to let TA become an inherited object that you only keep and preserve. Instead, we want TA to be a live material. We want it questioned, expanded, made porous, and made accountable for the community it needs to serve. We asked the community to respond to the theme, and you responded incredibly quickly. The range and quantity and quality of workshops was astonishing. So much imagination, so much seriousness, so much willingness to take risks. Choosing between them was absolutely painful, and I'm not trying to be polite here. Because with so many lines of inquiry, we wanted to include them all. And then we have this thing called time and space. Unfortunately. What you will encounter today in terms of workshops is not the full picture. It's part of the conversation. It's a strong slice of it. And we hope that it leaves you wanting more. Our keynote speakers embody this rerouting impulse in distinct ways, and we are honored that they are all here. First, we got Steph and Diana. They have written with care and precision about how TA was born, how it developed, and where it might have consolidated too tightly, too quickly. They ask questions that are both fundamental and uncomfortable in the best way. Questions that don't try to win an argument, but try to keep the theory honest. Then at 1:15, we got Charlotte Seals, is looking at me right now. And she will speak to the emergence of the relational approach since Bern, a work that, as we all know, she and Elena started and consolidated over 2 decades ago now, that continues to evolve and tries to account for the reality of practice. If rerouting involves relationship, mutuality, and presence, then her contribution is at the heart of the day. At 4 p.m., we got Victoria, that finally I see in person. She will address the intersectional nature of TA in the light of her new book, of course, that's created a lot of momentum. Intersectionality is not a fashionable add-on. Intersectionality is a way to refuse the fantasy that somehow any psyche exists outside power, culture, history, and difference. In her way, Victoria puts TA back in the real world, in front of the people it needs to account for. To all of you, Steph, Diana, Charlotte, and Victoria, thank you for saying yes to our first event. Thank you for lending your thoughts, your integrity, and your time. We are genuinely honored to have all of you here. And to all of you, thanks for coming with your mind, with your experience, and your openness. My hope is that today feels serious but not heavy, challenging but not hostile, and warm but not sentimental. A day where we can think together, disagree well, and live more connected. To TA, to the wider community, and to what matters now. And now, before I bore you any further, Steph and Diana, if you want, take the scene.